It's Dale D'Antoni here. Welcome to the Sofa Sessions. D'Antoni, Wines.
Welcome back to the Sofa Sessions podcast. This week we have on Aaron D Johnston. He is a big figure in the beard community. He is a national champion. He is a world champion. I mean, any type of champion, any type of ribbons, he's probably won it. He even did some work for Honest Amish, which he tells about on the podcast. He's also a podcast host for a podcast called Talking Beards, where him and his co-host just talk about beards, talk about all good things beards, beard competitions, and all that kind of stuff. I had a lot of fun with this episode. I learned a lot about the beard community, and even women have their own beard competitions. They have freestyle, create their own, and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, thank you guys for listening to this episode. I appreciate the continued support, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, this has probably been the craziest beginning of an episode ever.
Yeah, it's been a while. We've tried to get this going for a minute, and now we've got more adventure with this whole podcast. But it'll be all right. We're getting going.
I was gonna try and maybe move it back a little bit, but I was like, I've already canceled too many times. Too many things have happened.
Yeah, we've tried to get this going. What the first time I tried to come on here, I had COVID.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Wasn't that the first one? We
COVID.
Were a couple days away. I didn't even know COVID was still a thing.
Yeah, who gets COVID in 2024?
Nobody. Apparently me. Yeah, I went to a beard competition in West Virginia, and a bunch of us got it. So I didn't officially get tested, but a couple other people did. So I'm gonna go off of their testing. And I got COVID, and then what was the next one? Oh, we were gonna go to Kentucky to go see family, and we ended up not going, but didn't figure I would let you know last minute. It's the last couple weeks of my life has been pretty wild and
pretty crazy.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Yeah. If we would have hit this up on the first one before COVID, it would have been a completely different interview.
Yeah, it would have been.
It would have just been a sales pitch for Honest Amish Beard Care, but I got let go by them a few. I don't know, 12 days ago.
Really?
Yeah.
How long were you with them before?
Okay, so I started with them in September 1st of 2017 as a brand ambassador.
Dang.
So it was the first beard product I had ever used, and I was going to Worlds in 2017 and was like, I watch NASCAR and stuff. I need a sponsor, right?
Yeah.
So I hit them up, and they sent me some products and a little bit of money for to go towards my hotel, and then I ended up winning Worlds in 2017, and the owner flew down there and shook my hand and was like, "You're gonna stay on as an ambassador for the time being."
Yeah.
And so that was 2017, and then what was it? October 2021, I helped them put together, the National Beard and Mustache Championships is a thing.
Yeah.
And they approached Honest Amish to be the title sponsor.
Oh, dang.
And Honest Amish doesn't really in that time, they would sponsor beard events, but they were really hands-off. Like, they were just like, put our logos on stuff. We're, advertise for us. We're good to go. Well, Nationals wanted them to be involved. And they didn't know what being involved with the event even meant. And I was the ambassador, and I've been doing beard competitions for a while now. And they're like, "Hey, can you help us? Like, Nationals wants us involved, and can you do the involved part?" And at the time, I was working at Plant Vogel, and I was like, "Yeah, sure. We'll be involved, I guess."
Yeah.
And I helped them. I got a person come in to do the Star Spangled Banner and planning stuff, and talk to them. I was part of a bunch of meetings. Like, they wanted them involved. Like, is this cool for your booth? What do you think about this? Do you like these banners here and stuff like that? And I just helped the event, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
And so after that, I just said to the owners, like, "Hey, if I ever get the opportunity to work for you full time, I'd love to do that." And lo and behold, he said, "Write me a proposal." And I was like, "Well, that's not a no," So I wrote up the proposal, and we talked about it, and I went up there for a week and kind of shadowed people at the office and worked in the factory and worked in this part, all the aspects.
Yeah.
Just, shipping and receiving and stuff. And the end of the week we met and he was like, well, what do you think? I'm like, man, if I could quit my full-time job and do this for a living and work with beard stuff, this would be awesome. And we shook hands and off to the races we went.
So you quit Plant Vogel, and then started working for them full time.
Yeah, so take that back. So we moved to South Carolina in 2010, and to work at Savannah Riverside.
Yeah,
and I was at Mox.
Okay,
and then Mox closed in 2018, and so I moved across the river to Vogel, and I was in nuclear construction. So I wasn't on the active side of the nuclear stuff, but yeah, I was at Plant Vogel for about 3 years, and I was the night shift supervisor for the X-ray department. So what we would do is we would X-ray all the welds that were being put in 3 and 4, and day shift would do a lot of visual stuff and dye penetrant testing and stuff like that. But X-ray happened at night because there was less people, so we would have to take an area and nobody could be in that area, so we'd have to put barricades and things like that and monitor the location so we could X-ray, because you're working with a live radiation source.
Yeah.
And it was just easier to do that at night because there's less people at night.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did out there for 3 years until I started my journey of my short-lived career of a director of marketing, I guess. So
dang, you're a director of marketing.
I mean, I was.
Yeah.
Up until the June 10th, and
dang.
Now I'm kind of in limbo a little bit, right? So I got 20 years of non-destructive testing on my resume. That's what I did directly out of high school. I started out with a grinder in my hand, and I was cleaning welds for people, and they would inspect them, and I quickly realized that I didn't want to have a grinder in my hand, right?
Yeah.
So I started getting certifications, and I would inspect the welds, and then I started doing the X-ray stuff, and we traveled all over the place, and like I said, in 2010, we ended up in the South Carolina for the Mox project, and
dang.
Yeah.
What was the reason as to why they let you go? Like, what was...
So the beginning of the year, they moved me from my dream job. So for 2 years, I was traveling the world with my wife, going to beard competitions. And that was, I was also trying to get us in barber shops and stuff like that along the way, but I was just advertising and marketing. I was doing social media stuff and just really pushing the brand. Anybody I could talk to about the brand, I would talk to about the brand. I didn't wear, I'd hardly wore any clothing that wasn't Honest Amish related since 2017.
Yeah.
And if I was in a line at a grocery store, I always had cards in my pocket, and any opportunity that I had to talk about the brand, I would talk about the brand.
Dang.
And that's all I did, 24/7. I'd never shut off. I'd messages, emails, social media stuff, like I said, and so that's what I did for 2 years, and I was living the dream.
Yeah.
And January, they're like, so we don't want you traveling as much. We need to kind of start watching money, and it's a business decision, and I get that. And they really wanted me to really focus on sales, mainly trying to get us in another big store type thing and cover my salary, right? So instead of spending money, I needed to be making money for the company, and that's what I should have been doing the whole time. And I was selling stuff at beard competitions and things like that. It just wasn't extremely lucrative. And so I needed to find a more lucrative outlet, I guess, and I got 6 months, and I was working on some stuff, but nothing was really coming together, and it was just a business decision. And I get it, it sucks from my perspective, right? Because I got to quit a 20-year career to go work for a brand that I was genuinely a fan of. Like if you're a fan of Vans, and you're like, hey, I get to quit my job and go work for Vans. That'd be super cool. And that's where I was, right? So I was already a giant fan of the brand. I had been doing beard competitions, and I started growing out my beard to do the competitions. I'm like, I need beard oil, right?
Yeah.
That's what you need. So got on Amazon and was like, well, this brand looks cool, and that's the one I chose, and was, like I said, a fan of the brand. And they let me go. I kind of felt like maybe it was coming.
Yeah.
I didn't want to believe that it was coming, because it was a dream. I was living the dream.
Yeah.
And man, some people don't get to have their dream job ever, and I got to do it for like 2.5 years. So I'll always be extremely fortunate and look back at that, just such fond memories, right? Me and my wife got to travel all over the world and see a lot of cool stuff, meet all kinds of cool people, and it was awesome, man. We had a great time, and I'll always be grateful for what they did for me, right? But it came to an end, and ultimately it was just a business decision, and I understand that. But now we're looking to the future and seeing what's out there, and I've had some good conversations, and most of the things that I've had conversations about is, back to my previous career, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's no nuclear construction stuff going on right now. Not really. They're working on pit at Savannah River site right now, but there's no non-destructive testing going on at pit currently.
Yeah.
Not like there was mocks. Now, we had a whole X-ray department out there, and that's what I moved here for. And they don't currently have that at pit. So as far as the construction side goes, I don't have anything, but I have some opportunities on active sides at SRS and possibly Vogel. And so something like that could come to be. So, financially, I think we'll be cool, but unfortunately, with the active side of nuclear involves shaving. So there's that kind of looming over me, and having a 12-year-old beard, that sucks.
It's like almost like a child.
I know that they people are like, oh, you can, if you shave, you can grow it right back. I'm like, it's 12 years old. This thing's been growing on me for a while. You can't just grow that back. But it's just facial hair, right? It's part of me, in more ways than one. But if that's what it comes down to, it is what it is. It's not what I want to do. Yeah. But unfortunately, it's part of life. And I have a wife that and she needs insurance. We'll just leave it that way. And she definitely needs it. And so I have to do what I have to do to make sure that she continues to have insurance. And if part of it's shaving, then it'll just be a new part of the journey, and that's all part of life, right? You sometimes you win and lose and all that good stuff, but maybe the regrowth will be just a new chapter in my life. Maybe my wife's been super supportive of the whole thing, and she's like, maybe 12-year-old hair needs to come off, and you need to let your face breathe for a little bit, and grow new facial hair. And we'll still do beard competition stuff, and like I said, it'll grow back, but then it'll just definitely put me in a different category, and maybe I'll go dominate that category. We'll see. Who knows?
You never know.
Who knows? But
are there any other beard oil companies that are hiring, or any that you could possibly work for?
Yeah, probably, right? There's companies I could go out there and represent and wear their T-shirt and wear their products, but I highly doubt there's another opportunity out there like I got with Honest Amish. I think that was just, it was kind of like a dumb luck, lightning in a bottle, all those type of things, and I mean, if that deal comes to be from another company, that'd be awesome, and I'll go ride that wave like I did the Honest Amish one for a while. But man, I just don't see that happening. I think the time is I'll just go back to my previous career, and luckily I do have that resume, and maybe something does come up. I don't know. I've definitely had a couple conversations with some products, and once it got out that I was no longer with the company anymore, and obviously all these little mom and pop companies are like, let's send you product, and but that that next big giant beard oil company out there hasn't knocked down my door and throwing money at me, and I'm not expecting for that to happen, and it would have to be the perfect deal. Because if I'm going to represent a company like I did with them, I got to believe in the product, and I can't just be like, oh, you got a check, cool, and I'll just wear your stuff. I don't believe in the product. I believed in the product, and I think that was one of the things that made it so easy for me, because I was already using it. I was already a fan of the brand, and I believed in it. I believed in everything about it. And, unfortunately that's over. And maybe that new brand that I haven't tried will knock on my door and send me some product. And, you know, but the only product that I know of that I already feel that way about is Subaru. So I don't see Subaru knocking down my door to advertise for them. But
you never know though.
Never know. You know, hit me up, Subaru. But you know,
shout out Subaru.
Yeah. But you know, it'll be a fun journey. I got some buddies that have beard product companies, and you know, I've been in the game for, you know, I don't know, about 10 years doing, you know, beard competitions, and I've traveled all over the world. I've done almost 200 events, and I've emceed them. I've helped put them on. I've, you know, scored them. I've judged them. You know, I've vended at them. I've done almost every aspect of a beard competition, and you know, I've helped, like I said, put on a few of them, and so, you know, I could lend a hand if, you know, some beard product company's like, all right, we want to get into this beard competition thing, and you know, I've got the experience, but I don't foresee that happening. But you know, I'll go help some little company, and that'll be pretty fun. I think, you know, I think that's what my next step will probably end up being. Like, all right, you know, you got this startup thing, and I can help you maneuver and get you some sponsorships and utilize me in some sort of way. And you know, maybe.
What about starting your own?
I don't have any interest in doing that. That's been the thing a lot of people have hit me with, like, hey, you just start your own company. I'm like, and then I got to make it all the time, and then I've got to create a website, and I just, you know, I would rather just help someone that's already got that kind of going. I think that would be, I mean, I probably could, right? But I have zero interest in putting in all that legwork. You know, especially if I'm going to have to go get a real job again, and then I'm going to have 2 real jobs. And I'd rather hang out with my wife in my off time instead of sitting in the kitchen making beard products all night, you know?
Experimenting late at night or something.
Because that's what I would have to do. I don't know how to make that stuff, you know? I mean, I help bottle it a little bit and put some stuff in tins and put stickers on labels, but, you know, I'm not, you know, they came up with the creation and on all that. And
like
so,
the manufacturing and all that kind of stuff.
I wouldn't even know where to start. You know, I could Google it maybe, like how to make beard oil, you know, and it'd be the same beard oil that 92 other companies have already Googled and started with, and that would be the same thing that I had, you know, Aaron's beard oil or whatever, and you know, 42 people would want to go buy it just because I said to, but that's not gonna pay the bills. So I don't know. You could start your own beard product company. You can Google it, I think, probably. I don't know, but no, I'm just.
Yeah, you have to restart like everything.
I would have to restart everything.
Like you would have to, and you would have to think of all the things that you weren't thinking of before. You know.
Yeah, I was just trying to sell the you know, one of the best beard products in the world. You know, that was easy. That was super easy. I mean, they had already done it. They were already in all the stores and Amazon, and everybody had already heard of them. And you know, I got to push a really solid brand, and that was pretty easy.
Yeah. Were there a lot of other people working for them?
I think they had.
Did they have like a big layoff or something?
Not really. I think it was just a little bit of a layoff. They had some cutbacks beginning of the year. They trimmed some fat, and I guess I was looked as fat, not an asset, maybe. But they gave me the opportunity to be an asset, and I just wasn't able to come through in 6 months, and that's the truth. You know, they gave me the opportunity, and I tried. I was swinging, man. I was giving it a shot, and I had no idea how to get us in a big store, but I was hitting up people and trying to get buyers' email addresses, and you know, even like I was blowing up LinkedIn, you know, that trying to get a hold of people, you know, it's tough. It's not easy just to call up Target and be like, hey, you know, what's your buyer's name here, and hop on the phone with them. It's tough. It's a tough gig, and man, the people that do that for a living, that, you know, good for them, because that's a tough deal.
Yeah. So did they give you any kind of direction as to what they wanted other than, you know, just getting in a big store?
That, you know, just basically I needed to go be profitable. You know, I needed to go make us some money. Go make some money, and that's what I was trying to do. And you know, obviously the conversation is probably a little deeper than that, but that's ultimately that's what I needed to go do. And no more doing the beard competition stuff. No more traveling around vending at these events. We tried it. If it would have worked, that'd been awesome. I'd have still been doing it. But we did. I think I did in 2 years. I vended at about 70 events.
Oh, dang.
And that was all over the country, and we drove most of them, and we flew to a couple overseas. But if we drove there, my car was loaded down, and we were vending, man. I drove from Vancouver, Canada to Homestead, Miami, Florida in one shot just to do beard stuff. And it was cool, but it wasn't lucrative. And if it was, like I said, we wouldn't be talking about this. About, yeah, man, I'm going to I just came back from Reno, Nevada, and I'm headed to Montana tomorrow, because I'm going to these beard events, and we can't sell enough, I can't keep it in stock. But it didn't work. And unfortunately it didn't work. And that's where we're at, man. It'd have been cool if it did. It was awesome, and I was trying, but unfortunately it's just kind of what happened. It ran its course. They gave me a shot, and I had fun, and I sold something. I sold a good bit, and I talked to a lot of people. I talked to all the people. I shook all the hands, and some things just don't pan out the way you hope, And, they took a shot on me, and I, like I said, I'll always appreciate that. It just didn't work, man. Didn't work.
Like you said, some people don't even get to live their dream job.
Exactly. You know, and I'll always be grateful for that. And I did. I got to live my dream job. Me and my wife traveled all over the country. We went to England a couple times.
Dang.
We went to Germany. We went to before I was still working at Vogel, but we went to Belgium in 2019. Oh, wow. But yeah, we went to the World Beard and Mustache Championships in Burghausen, Germany, in 23. So that was about a little, June of last year. So
dang.
Yeah, we did that, and I took home second in the goatee category, and my wife won first place in the women's freestyle, and she won best in show for the women as well.
Okay,
so,
for a beard?
Yeah, so women get to create beards.
Oh, okay.
Theirs is more of a craft type category, right? So, beard competitions are for charity. That's no one's making any money off this stuff unless you get a sponsor, but everybody's just doing it for fun and doing it for charity and the camaraderie of hanging out with your friends, and that's the main reason for all of it. And so the wives are there. Might as well let them get in on the fun, right?
Yeah.
And so they're called the Whiskerinas, and so they got a cool little name, and it's big over here in the States, huge, and there's creative categories and there's realistic categories, and with the creative categories, you can make your beard out of anything. Just is the sky's the limit. Whatever you can think of to make a beard-shaped object on your face. I've seen girls make kegs that actually work, but they're a wooden mustache, and the keg would be the bottom shape of the beard, right? And then they're like dispensing beer on stage, and
dang,
it's crazy, dude. It's amazing. But my wife mainly does the realistic categories, and what you're trying to do is just make a realistic looking beard. And her big thing was making freestyle beards. So you would make a regular looking beard, and then there's guys that do this too. It's called the freestyle category. And then you put the hairspray in it and make all the big loops and stuff like you've kind of seen on TV or whatever, pictures online. And so that's what she would do. She would make a big realistic beard and freestyle it and hairspray it up and put a bunch of loops in it and go on stage and look awesome. And that's been what she's kind of known for. And she went over there to Germany, and they had a freestyle category, which we don't even have here in the States for the women. We usually it's just a realistic category, and my wife just freestyles, and she kind of cleans the floor with everybody because no one else is freestyling, right? They're just got regular beards.
They're just styling.
Yeah, they're just styling. And she went over there and with her freestyle beard, and she won her category and won best in show for the women. And it's been awesome. We got to do a whole bunch of media stuff after that last year, and she's missed first place, and I got to be second place. But it's fine. I still got second place in the world. I won before, in 2017. So I got one blue ribbon, but our wall is just a bunch of blue ribbons of hers and a bunch of second places for me. But it's, it's fine. Whatever. I lose to the same dude every time.
Really?
I went all the way to Germany to lose to the same American that beats me every time, Dang. Dadgummit.
Y'all should have like a boxing match.
Right?
Yeah.
No, I'd lose in that too. But it's been fun, man. It's been an enjoyable experience, and our beard journey isn't over by any means, right? I've got my podcast, Talking Beards, and we go live every Tuesday and usually talk to people around the beard community or people who have an upcoming beard event, a competition, or sometimes they just do like a gala, or maybe just like they start doing like beard proms. So they'd still have like a raffle table and stuff to raise money for charity, and then you would pay your entry fee to be in the prom.
Yeah.
And then all that money goes to the selected charity for their event, because a lot of people are kind of beard competitioned out, so they're trying to still do the beard thing with their beard friends, but maybe try to do something different, but still ultimately spice it up a little bit and still raise money for a charity. Just maybe not do a competition every time. So it's been cool seeing people try different things, and I've seen beard cornhole tournaments and things like that. So people are trying different avenues to still raise money for their charity and not just be a beard competition every time.
Yeah, like a beard boxing or something.
There you go. You're into this boxing thing.
I don't know. You brought up cornhole, so I was like, what's something else I could do?
Boxing, yeah. But yeah, it's definitely something that could be done as well.
Or like the most unique braid or something.
Right.
That would be pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Do you ever braid yours?
So usually I'll pull it into a knot usually, and I don't use bands, or if I'm just coming to do stuff like this, I'll just kind of put one band in it. I have braided it, and it's crazy how often that question comes up.
Dang, man, I feel like a cliche person.
No, man, you're fine. Like I don't know what it is. Like a lot of ladies will be like, man, I just want to braid your beard. I'm like, why? Why do you want to braid my beard? Why is that such a thing? But no, I don't know. A lot of people do the braiding thing, and I don't know. I just haven't. No real particular reason. I mean, I've done it a few times. To me, I'd rather just throw a band in it, or if I don't want it to be in the way, then I'll put the knot in it and make it a lot shorter.
Yeah, because I guess if you braided it, it would take way longer.
Yeah, and who's got time for that? I don't have 15 seconds to braid my beard. I gotta just tighten a knot and go.
I mean, you were early today, so
hey, if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late.
That is true.
That's.
Are you pretty early everywhere you go?
I think so. Yeah, it's kind of my thing. It drives my wife nuts sometimes.
Really?
I think. Yeah, I don't know. I'm always. I hate being late. It would just give me anxiety if I was only 5 minutes early. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna be late. What if something happens? And, but no, I don't know what it is. It's just I've always just been early.
Yeah, I've usually been early majority of my life, but living with your girlfriend, it's kind of hard to do that. With like
so it's
the
her
makeup.
fault.
Yeah. Majority of the time, I'll go ahead and shed some light on that.
Yeah,
I'm always waiting on the couch. And she's always getting ready, so
it's kind of opposite in our house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's always waiting on me. So my wife shaves her head, so she doesn't have hair to really deal with, and she's pretty minimalistic on her makeup usually, unless we're doing something super fancy.
Yeah.
And then I'm definitely waiting on her.
Like the beard boxing.
Yeah, there you go. When we go to beard boxing, she's definitely getting all dolled up. But if we're just going to Mexican restaurant or something, my shower takes longer. I have hair on top and bottom. I got this little mullet thing trying to grow, and those things take time. But
beauty takes time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But she's usually the one waiting on me. Usually that's how that works in our house.
Well, yeah, I used to have long hair, but I shaved it, so I don't really have to worry about hair. I can just get up and go.
Yeah. Why'd you shave your hair?
I don't know. I just kind of got tired of it. I had it long for like 3 years, and then
just one day you're just like, you know what? I'm getting a haircut.
Yeah, basically. I don't know. I guess I get tired of things over time, and then I was just like, I'm tired of this.
And that was it. Just cut it off.
And then I grew it out, and then I had it pretty about to where you have your hair, and I was like, I'm tired of this. So I did it again. Yeah, but I regret it now. So
it'll grow back. It's just hair.
Yeah, that is true. But then now I gotta wait months for it. So
the waiting period.
Yeah, and then you get to that awkward stage.
Oh yeah,
so
for
it's
sure.
Like, what kind of hairstyle am I gonna have? It just sticks straight up.
Yeah, that's when you just wear a hat. You wear a hat for like 6 months.
Yeah,
and then
that's what I did.
And then you take the hat off, and then you're past that awkward stage.
Yeah, I feel like, oh, I didn't know you had hair.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like, yeah,
I've been letting it grow under the hat this whole time.
Can you wear a hat for your beard, like when it gets in that awkward stage, or?
You know, not really. I think you
like
can
a chin strap.
You
maybe?
could just wear a mask. You know,
Yeah.
one of those, and just tuck it in there, and just all of a sudden it's out and about.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's a little different than head hair.
Yeah, I guess gravity kind of messes with it.
Yeah, a
bit.
little bit. Yeah, it just kind of hangs there.
Mm-hmm.
But once it gets long enough, then you can put a band on it. So you are kind of in an awkward stage until you can pull it together.
Yeah,
But that's at least a year.
yeah. Dang, yeah, I've been trying to kind of grow mine out. It doesn't really grow.
Yeah, it's either going to do it or it's not,
Yeah.
I think the average beard grows like 6 inches a year.
Dang, really?
Yeah.
6 inches.
Mhm.
Well, 6 inches is a lot, I feel like, though.
Yeah, it's decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cut back to 18 inches last June, and I'm at 25 now. So
Dang.
so that's seven
Yeah.
inches, and it's I'm a little above average, It's fine.
I wish I was above average. For your beard length, do y'all make notches on the door? Kind of like how you
Oh,
y'all
for
do with
sure.
mine?
Yeah, you just walk up to the door, and you have a spot for your nose, and then you just mark it
Okay.
right there.
That's pretty funny. But yeah, at these like competitions, how many people go to these? Are they like a big draw, or does it depend on what city it is?
It's definitely what city it is and what event, right? So before COVID, they were way bigger. I don't know what happened during COVID. People just quit coming to events. But we would put on our event in Charleston, and I think we did ours in 19. We were planning 20, and then COVID.
Yeah.
So 18, we had about 200 competitors.
Oh,
and then
dang.
19, we were at like 150.
Dang.
And now, if you go to an event and you've got, like, if you hit 100, you're doing something.
Yeah.
So it's crazy where after COVID what had happened, but like say for instance in 2017 at Worlds in Austin, there were 750 competitors there, and it was a Guinness Book of World Records event.
Really?
And then we went to this last Worlds in Germany, and there was like maybe 250. So.
And then are there like people in the crowd, or is there a crowd?
there's usually spectators. Yeah, definitely at like the bigger events. The city will, especially if it's marketed well, right?
Yeah.
If you let people go on TV and go on the news or morning shows or get in the papers or get billboards and stuff, people are like, what's this beard competition thing? We need to go check that out.
Yeah.
But if it's just word of mouth on Facebook, Augusta Beard Club's putting on an event, and then they share it to all the other beard clubs, it's just going to be beard people. And the spectators will just be their wives or the people they brought or whatever. But, man, if you put it out there on TV and stuff, like, people are interested.
Yeah.
I mean, if you see a sign that says beard competition at some bar, you might wander in there just to see what a beard competition is. And it's always been intriguing to me, and it's what got us involved. We saw a reality TV show in 2012 called Whisker Wars, and that's what got us involved. It was on Independent Film Channel, and we saw it. We watched 2 seasons of it, and I'm like, man, we should go to one of these things and check it out. And that was in May of 2014, and man, we've done almost 200 of them now, so I guess we got hooked.
Yeah.
So just go to one, check it out, and maybe you'll get hooked.
Yeah, maybe. I'll have to let it. Well, I can't even grow it.
Well, I mean, there's different categories for everybody. I mean, you'd be in a tiny goatee category or something, but you'd fit in somewhere, right? Like
maybe, yeah.
Unfortunately, you and I would probably be in the same category. Because because you would just fall into the goatee category.
Yeah,
and that's where I do so well at like bar competitions, right? Because we would both be in the goatee category, and I mean, I'm probably going to beat you, even if the judges don't know. I know, that maybe they like that.
I might have to talk to the judges.
Maybe
first.
the judges, maybe they like that little red stubble.
Maybe they're a little bit more minimalistic.
Maybe. You never know.
Yeah,
every judge is different. That's why there's a panel of judges.
Yeah, I would have thought that like Duck Dynasty got you into the beards.
I don't know how many people are like, do you watch Duck Dynasty? I don't know if I've ever watched an episode. I've seen it, right? I've seen it on TV, and we were at an event. Oh my gosh, right before COVID. It was March of 2020. Driving home from that event, gas stations were closing.
Really?
We were at that event in Monroe, Louisiana, and there was one of the Duck Dynasty dudes there, and I guess that's where they're from.
Yeah, Louisiana somewhere.
Yeah, Monroe.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, so that their Beard Commander, is that their company? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's like Duck Commander or something like that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I said Beard Commander, whatever.
I mean, they look like Beard Commanders.
Yeah, the Duck Commander place, I think, is there. And the older guy that drinks the sweet tea, do you know?
Uncle Sly?
Yeah, that dude. He was there. He was at the event, and he had a sweet tea cup, and I took pictures with him and stuff. I'm like, whatever, Duck Dynasty guy's pretty cool, and some.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, one of the girls that were there, she was crying because she was so excited to meet him.
Really?
So I mean, pretty cool. I mean, he was on TV and stuff, but that's about my biggest involvement with the Duck Dynasty guys. But no, that's not really got me involved, and it was the Whisker Wars on Independent Film Channel. That was my big beard involvement.
What is Whisker Wars about?
Beard competitions.
Oh, really?
So they dramatized it, right? So I know a bunch of those dudes that are in that show now, the ones that are still around, and they're like, yeah, some of us were friends, and they were like, hey, you two are competing against each other a lot. How about y'all not like each other when the cameras are rolling type stuff,
Yeah.
And they played it up for TV a little bit, and maybe some people took it too far when the cameras weren't rolling, and then people were like, man, he's just kind of a dick now. Like, it was just a joke at first, but he's like, he took it serious. But
yeah, they like fed into the fakeness.
They did, and it was
crazy.
It was TV, right? And it was just about beard competitions, and it was probably like 2009, 10, 11 in that time frame, and it was a giant party, man. It was just a party, and these events were huge then. Yeah, I don't know if it was because of the Whisker Wars or if Whisker Wars started doing them because they were big events, I don't know. It was the chicken or the egg thing. Yeah. And but they were big. These events were massive. People were stage diving at these things when they would win and stuff. It was wild. And it's definitely not that now. Now it's more family friendly, charity aspect. And they're still fun events, right? But they're not rowdy parties like they were. They were a party back in the day. And that's what Whisker Wars was really highlighting. And maybe that, Whisker Wars amped up the party atmosphere. That's very possible, right? Because, people were trying to be on TV, and maybe before the cameras rolled, like, everybody just be as wild as possible, right? And, and it was cool. It got us hooked, and we went to our first one in 2014, and that's when we found out that they're actually raising money for charity, and women are doing this thing, and it got us those aspects really got us more involved in the partying aspect. I mean, obviously the first few years of it, I was partaking in the partying, I was like drinking every time and stuff, and it was a wild time. But since then I've quit drinking, and I just more focused on the the competition, beard, charity, helping running the events type aspect. But it was not as much of a party for us anymore, for sure. But I think it's just kind of across the board. It's more of a they've got kid categories now sometimes. And there's the main focus is trying to raise money for charity, which is cool. I mean, these charities need money as well, but it's definitely not the party it once was back in the Whisker Wars days.
It was probably like the West, the Wild West of the beard.
It was Wild West, man. Like, especially, at least that's what we saw on TV. Yeah. And definitely when we first got in 14, 15, 16 even, there was definitely much more party atmosphere. And I think it's a lot of the same people, and maybe we just all collectively got old together and was like, maybe we don't want to wake up with a hangover every Sunday, so maybe we'll just, hang out and drink water and
talk about the good old times.
Talk about the good old days and go get some raffle tickets and try to take home some, charcuterie boards and stuff.
Charcuterie?
Charcuterie, isn't that what that's called, with the wood with the cheese on it?
Charcuterie?
Charcuterie.
I think that's a freaky OnlyFans thing during Shark Week.
I don't know what it is.
You're talking about charcuterie?
Yeah, that's the word. I went the other way with it because there's no way I can say that word.
Charcuterie.
So, yeah, I just completely.
I don't even know how to spell it. So.
Me neither.
Charcuterie. I'm gonna start saying charcuterie.
It's a lot easier to say, and then it's you won't mess it up.
Yeah, and you get a good reaction too.
Exactly.
People
That was
like,
it.
What?
What are you talking about? The board with the cheese on it.
They got the food.
Yeah.
No idea the sausage.
Oh yeah, and then you say that word, and you're like, yep, that's what I was actually trying to say. But I went to school in Kentucky, man. We're not good at, like, the whole spelling and all that. So.
The Bluegrass State.
Bluegrass State.
Do you play any instruments?
I do not.
Dang.
I know.
The beard guitar, maybe.
Yeah, the beard guitar. I'm a big fan. I played the recorder in like 8th grade.
Yeah, I played the recorder in like 5th grade.
Oh man, maybe it was 5th grade. I was in elementary school. Dang, I was wrong. I lied.
Oh well.
Whoops.
I just remember because I begged my mom to get one, and she wouldn't get me one
Because they're annoying.
Yeah.
And-
But then she did. She got me a beige one.
Yeah, I think I also had a beige one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Yamaha, I think.
Oh man, I don't know what mine was. Dang.
Yeah, I know.
You still got it?
Matter of fact, I probably do.
You should bust it out. Your girlfriend loved that. Just all of a sudden, you're like, I picked up a
serenade
new
with it.
hobby, and you just freaking recording like every morning.
Yeah.
She'd love it. I'm
Maybe
pretty
when
sure.
she gets mad, I could like tame her with it. How
Oh,
they
there
do,
you
like,
go.
The snakes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Honestly, my mom probably does have it because she's kept my socks and like my dirty stained underwear from like when I was a kid.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, she probably has it.
I've got everything from my childhood. Both my parents have passed away, so my mom had just everything in the attic.
Yeah.
Everything. I've got boxes with literally papers from kindergarten in it. Like,
Yeah, me too.
I'm like, why do I need all this stuff? But I have it. I have it
Yeah.
all at my house.
Probably
and
never throw it away either.
Heck no. I don't throw nothing away. It drives my wife nuts.
Yeah, I'm like, I go through that thing of like, I want to keep this stuff, but then I'm like, what do I need this stuff for? I really don't need it.
Yeah.
But then I end up keeping it.
Yeah, for sure. I have an attic, and then we have a bonus room above our garage, so it's got those little doors on the side, because
Yeah.
it's got the little storage in there, and man, it's just slammed full of stuff. I have no idea. Sometimes I'll just pull out boxes. I'm like, dang, you're my Hot Wheels in here, and we'll like go through and look at stuff, and I'll just put it back in there.
Play with it for a day, a couple hours.
That's it. Yeah, I've got my podcast studio, and I'll go through stuff. I'm like, oh man, my Thundercats. I'm like, these need to be on the shelf behind me. I'm like putting them in there.
That is true for like the nostalgia feel,
Heck
the
yeah.
backgrounds.
Yeah, think about
Dang.
that.
Maybe I need to do that for this.
You should.
Clean it up a little bit.
Yeah,
I just added the
you got
Red
the
Bull.
DeLorean.
Yeah,
That's pretty
I
cool.
built that like a year ago.
That's badass.
Dude,
I like that.
Legos are so expensive.
They're so freaking expensive.
I was thinking, because my girlfriend, my girlfriend got it for me, and I thought it was gonna be like $80, something somewhat expensive,
Right.
but not cheap. It was like $150, $200.
Oh my gosh, that's
I know.
crazy.
Yeah, so I got to put it on display for
Yeah,
something.
for something like that, you definitely have to. My wife was going through a phase. She was building the Star Wars heads.
Oh yeah, those are really cool though.
Yeah, those things are crazy expensive too.
Yeah. How much are they?
Like probably like $100, and the heads are like this little.
Yeah.
The last one she built was Darth Vader,
Oh yeah.
and it's all black. She was pissed.
Really?
Dude, because
Oh,
they're all
yeah.
the same pieces.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the last one she put together. It definitely took her the longest, and she was so mad building that thing.
I would too, especially if you're in a dark room or something. You don't have lights. You didn't pay the bill or
Yeah,
something.
that's usually how we build our Legos. We get in a dark room with no lights on and build Legos. That's,
Get around the fire.
yeah,
So for the ambiance.
yeah. You gotta keep a small fire though. You don't want too much light.
Yeah. The challenge is doing it in the dark.
For sure. Yeah, that's our go-to. Building Lego heads in the dark.
Dang. But yeah, I just put this up from Red Bull. I got this. This looks like an official poster kind of, right?
Boom! Look at that.
I took it from a restaurant.
I was gonna say it's your new podcast sponsor right there.
I wish. But I just thought it looked cool. I thought I would
It does
add
look cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Red Bull gives you wings.
And you're drinking it right now.
I
so,
am. Yeah.
I mean, I guess
Boom.
it works.
It is. Yeah, I came in here sporting your sponsor. I didn't
Yeah.
even know it.
Dang. So you have a podcast as well.
I do, yeah. It's called Talking Beards. Like I said earlier, we go live every Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern. We do it on Facebook and YouTube. We've been debating just switching over just to YouTube because it just seems like people have less issues over there. it's about 45 seconds ahead of the Facebook.
Oh,
and we do trivia sometimes. So the YouTube people always beat the Facebook people.
Yeah,
so I'm
that's
like,
true.
if we're going to just continue to do the trivia thing, we should just do it on YouTube.
Yeah.
At least like when we do the trivia episodes, maybe those will be YouTube exclusive.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Yeah, I've done 339 episodes.
Yeah. I saw you started back in like 2015.
Yeah, so it's had a journey, this podcast. So it started out as the Beardcaster podcast, and it was a guy named Scott Sikora out of Ohio, and he was doing it by himself. And in 2017 at Worlds, I met Mr. Sikora, and we hit it off. Like, we became super good friends immediately. And there was another guy, his name was Chris Odom, and he had a YouTube channel. And so those two started talking. It's like, hey, we got a podcast. I got a YouTube channel. I was like, we should do something together with video. And then they're like, man, we should get Aaron involved. Why? I don't know. Because in pre-2017, there's no way I could have talked on a mic. Like, I was just like super quiet and kind of really reserved. And I mean, I've done a bunch of episodes, podcasts. It's, kind of second nature at this point.
Yeah.
But then I was like, why would you want me involved with this thing? And so the first probably 5 or 6 episodes, I'm just like, yeah. And that was like my involvement in the podcast. And so we started doing that together. And then the Beardcaster just disappeared, and we kind of turned it all together. So our first 75 episodes aren't really talking beard, so our number's a little inflated because we just tacked on to continue. Because at first we were like, this is the 200th episode of the podcast and 120 of the live show or whatever. And it was just like, let's just drop one of those numbers, right? We're just going to tack on to the big number. So we just continued on from the Beardcaster, and then it evolved. It turned into from us 3 to 2 of us. And then Scott ultimately left at the beginning of the year, and I got a new guy. His name's Sean Glander. He's in Spokane, Washington. He has his own beard product company, so that might be the guy that, we've been talking about his brand, Big Sexy Beard brand.
Dang.
On
Big Sexy.
Big Sexy. That's been the one we've been pushing on the show the last few weeks because, the whole other brand thing.
Yeah.
And so we've been pushing his brand a little bit, and he's getting the spotlight on Talking Beards now. But yeah, man, we do the show. We don't really do the podcast thing anymore because Scott was doing the podcast thing and he left, and it was like it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
And so now we just go live on Facebook and YouTube. Maybe eventually we'll go back into the podcasting format, but I don't think anybody was really even listening to our podcast. They just kind of hop on and watch us live or check it out later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been fun. It's evolved all over the place. And Scott would interview just random people, and then when it was us 3, I don't think we did have guests, and then we just like, all right, we're going to focus on upcoming competitions, and we did that for a while, and it got to the point that I created a whole calendar for beard competitions called thebeardcalendar.com.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, so it was a resource for me and the show, so we knew who was coming up, but it was also, I made a website so everyone could use it because there wasn't that resource for everyone to know what upcoming events were. And so we were using it, and so now with just me and Sean, we're still interviewing some people with upcoming events. We've still been doing that, but we're trying to do more fun things because we just want to hang out with each other. We don't really plan shows, really. We're kind of like, what do you want to do this week? And we're like, I don't know. It's like, let's just do trivia and just hang out. And we're really focused on just kind of hanging out with our buddies that we know watch, right?
Yeah.
And we've got some ideas. I've been I ate like the 1 chip challenge and stuff on the show.
Oh, dang.
And it was always me eating hot stuff.
Yeah.
So Scott would never want to eat anything hot because his belly would hurt or whatever. And my belly would definitely hurt, but I didn't care. It was funny, And so now me and him's like, we could just like both eat hot stuff and just kind of see what happens, and maybe like ask questions on each other, or maybe we'll just like eat.
Do like quick trivia after you bite into it.
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of fun. So that's kind of what we've been talking about. We're still going to interview some upcoming people with their events and stuff. I mean, it's the heart of the show, right?
Yeah.
But we just want to hang out and have a good time with each other and interview who we want and just hang out with our friends. And that's really been the thing. A lot of our friends are just tuning in every week, and their friends tell their friends, and but we've got an all right little audience, and it's usually the same people every week. And
Yeah.
you know, we don't know what the actual numbers are, but if you go off like Facebook numbers, we probably get like 1,000 views every week or something like that.
Dang,
but
that's what's up.
Yeah, those could be inflated. I know when we go live, we're probably like 40, 50, something like that, and we know those people are watching because the little numbers at the corner of the screen. So, and that may be all the people that are watching. I don't know, but it's fun. We've been doing it for a while, I've been doing it for a while. Sean's on like, I think episode 14 of the Sean Glander Chronicles now.
That's
so
what's up.
Yeah, he's done a few other shows. So we definitely during COVID we had Talking Beards the Network.
Oh.
And so I was like trying to like help all these other podcasts and everybody else with their beards were like, we were filling in time slots, and we had like 8 shows going.
Dang.
It was wild, you know.
Yeah.
And so Sean had a show on Saturday, Big Sexy Saturday Nights.
I had a couple of those myself.
Yeah, right. And so, you know, his shows were always just BS sessions, right?
Yeah.
And they were more just unstructured, just free for all. So we're trying to take Sean's free for alls, and I'm trying to be a little bit more structured, and we're creating our new what is Talking Beards, and we're still figuring it out. And you know, we've got a little bit of a fan base, and you know, it's fun. I enjoy doing it. It's different. Like I said, back in 2017, I would have never imagined in a million years that I would be able to talk on a podcast. But now I've emceed beard competitions, and it's wild. It's super wild what my life has done from you know, doing Talking Beards. And you know, I'll always be grateful for Scott to, you know, having the idea to make me do this, because I thought he was crazy. I thought he was crazy when he made me do this the first time, but it's been a fun journey, and we're still doing it. You know?
Yeah. How did you meet Sean?
How did I meet Sean? I don't know. He's got a beard, right? Where did I meet Sean? So the first time, so he knew of me because, you know, Talking Beards and being the world champion and just being, you know, that guy on social media with the beard, going to all the events. And so he had seen me around, and it's weird because the first couple times he saw me, he always said he was too nervous to come up and talk to me, and that's so weird that people would be like too nervous to come talk to me. I'm just a dude. I'm not anybody special. You know, he's like, I was too nervous.
Maybe you just had a really big beard, and he was maybe a little intimidated.
Right? You know, but the first time I remember talking to him was, I believe it was at that event that I talked about earlier during COVID with Uncle Si.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, at the Mob Fest 3, I think it was.
Fest
Mob
3.
Beard Mob. He was a big beard mob guy.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, maybe 2020, because I know we were at the same event at Nationals in Chicago in 2019, because I've looked back and looked at pictures. I'm like, you were there? Like, this is weird, because now we're such good friends. It's weird that we were at the same event. We didn't even talk to each other. And that was when he was like, I was just too nervous to come talk to you. I'm like, you're stupid. That's the dumbest thing. And now he's like one of my best friends in the whole world. And, you know, his wife and my wife are super good friends. And we've got a group chat, and we talk all the time. You know, we go up to Spokane and hang out with them for a week, and super great people.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just beard stuff, man. It's, you know, you just did the beard competition, finally talked, and we actually went back to Mob Fest, I think 21. We had to do it, so this was still kind of COVID-y.
Yeah.
We had to do it in a dude's backyard. So he used his back deck. He took the railings off of his back deck and used it as the stage, which is super cool.
That is cool.
And then his backyard had all these tents and, you know, the raffles and everything. We did a live remote for Mob Fest that year, and we did it there, and me and Sean did it, and Scott was on remote, and he was like being our guy in the studio helping us with issues, because we had these long phone cords that we ran off dude's modem out into his backyard, and it's in the elements, and we had 2 laptops, and it was a wild situation. But I think we did like an 8-hour remote for Mob Fest. Yeah, it was crazy. We had a camera on stage, so we had a little box, and we're like, when you come on stage and talk to the MC guy, make sure you come to our camera. And so we could. It was cool, man. That was one of the big things that me and Sean first did together, and we was like, man, we did really good together. Like, we should do more of these things. And 3 years later, we're doing a show every Tuesday, and I don't know. It's been
Dang.
fun.
Yeah.
We're enjoying the evolution of talking beards and just riding the wave.
Yeah. So what does the future look like for the podcast?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't even have a plan for Tuesday, and it's Sunday right now.
Yeah.
We'll talk today, and we'll come up with an idea, and we'll I'll be in Orlando, so I'll be doing it off iPads and stuff. So we'll I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about Orlando stuff. I have no idea. I don't have a job right now, so we're just kind of winging it. Me and wife, like last night, actually, we went and walked around the park in Aiken. We're like, "You want to go to Orlando Monday?" We're like, "All right." So that's how that happened. We're just gonna go down there and chill out for a few days and go see Mickey Mouse.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Dang, that's gonna be hot though.
Oh my gosh, we should have looked at the weather. It's like 97 degrees. So we'll do some morning stuff, right? We'll try to hit up Disney Springs at Rope Drop, and maybe some outlet stores early or late, and we'll hang out in the hotel or whatever during the day.
Does your beard get like pretty sweaty?
Yeah, so that's one thing about having a big beard. Like people are like, "Oh, I can't believe with all that hair." Well, once it gets a layer of moisture under it, you just got that moisture just sitting on your skin. It's really not that bad, especially if a breeze comes, because your face is already wet, right? And so it's like, oh yeah, man, you get like a really good hit. But I don't know, maybe I'll find out what it feels like not having facial hair coming up.
Oh no,
dang.
Yeah.
Oh well, but yeah, it's probably hot. Who knows? But I've convinced myself that it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's a mental game.
It is, absolutely.
Are there any things that you do that like your beard gets in the way?
Everything. I work on cars in my, just for fun.
Yeah.
Right. Like I've got a couple little trucks that I play with, and a couple Subarus and stuff, and man, you got to be mindful of it. No matter what you do, it's always in the way. So then that's where the knot comes in. And it's always in the way, man. I got 2 foot of beard hanging off the front of my face. Dang. I mean, just think about that. It's just there. There's nothing you can do. And if it's not tied up and any wind picks it up and it's flying in your face, and it's obnoxious, really. It's been fun to have, but man, it's obnoxious a lot of the times. It's always in the way.
Why do you keep it?
I like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now it's like for competition and marketing and things like that.
It's like a showcase almost.
It's a showcase. You know, it's this is what beard products can do. Check it out. It's a 2 foot goatee, but I don't really have that anymore. So maybe it's time for a change.
It's the big sexy beard.
Big sexy beard. I don't know. I think I can keep my mustache, so I'll just have a big gnarly mustache for a little bit.
I mean, you can still promote it with that.
That's right. But but I don't know, dude. It sucks.
Yeah. Do you think your wife's gonna kind of forget who you are
For
if
sure.
you have to shave it?
Yeah, she's absolutely not gonna know who I am. I'm genuinely worried about what my cats are gonna think.
Yeah.
Because I got a big fat orange cat. His name's Larry, and he sleeps in my beard all the time.
Does he really?
He'll pet it and stuff. I'm like, get out all the time.
Does he ever chew on it?
No.
Or like bite it?
Not really.
Okay.
He pets it. He's a big petter. Because I'll pet him, so then he's like trying to pet me back, and he'll be at 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, get out. So I think he genuinely might freak out. But my wife, I didn't have a beard when we first got together, so we'll get to see what it looks like to not have a beard. Maybe.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. You know, but I don't know. I'm just trying to mentally get prepared for it because it's probably happening. I know.
Is there anything else that you have thought of doing instead of having to shave it and go back to that kind of job?
Anything that would pay the bills, right? That would it'd be hard to start completely over, right? I did 20 years, so I worked my way up to a certain pay scale, and I have a house and certain bills, and I've got a accustomed lifestyle of a certain budget here, and if I just was like, you know what, I'm gonna go change oil at Jiffy Lube for a little bit, so I can just go work on cars. It's I'm not gonna be able to pay my bills, so I think I'm kind of stuck, really. But I would love to go work with cars. I don't want to go be a mechanic or anything. I think it would be cool to do something with cars. Like that's always been my real passion. It started with Hot Wheels, and right out of high school, I thought I wanted to be a mechanic, and I graduated in 2001 in May, and by July I was already in tech school.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I'm gonna be a mechanic, and then a couple of my buddies were doing what I do now. Well, almost about to do now. Whatever. They were doing non-destructive testing right out of high school, and they both did a really good job. And so by the end of 2001, their boss was like, "Hey, you got another one of you guys? Because you two are really good workers." And they're like, "Well, we got another buddy that would do a good job, but he's in school." And I went up there and interviewed in December 01 and January 02. I didn't go back to school after that semester or whatever, and off to the races, and upset my parents because, I quit my college, and you got to have college. Got to. I'm like, no, man, my buddies are out here shooting x-rays, and they're getting per diem, and they're going in power plants all over the country. I want to do that. Yeah. And that's what I did. And it's been pretty wild. I've been all over the place just doing that. Yeah. But
I was 2.
Dang. I'm freaking old. I remember back in the day, I wasn't the old guy. Now I'm freaking the old guy. This sucks.
Dude, I feel old. I'm 23.
You're not old.
Dude, I feel like I'm behind all the time.
You're doing fine. You got a podcast. Look at that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm behind on that. Well, I feel like the peak of it was, around COVID. Because, what else are you going to do kind of thing?
Exactly. Like Talking Beards, the network. We all had podcasts then,
Yeah. So it's like now everybody has a podcast, so I feel like I'm a little late on that.
So what made you start a podcast?
Well, I had like a rough draft podcast. I started a clothing company back in like 2019. I don't do it anymore.
Okay.
But it was called Stay Consistent Clothing Company. It was really just to kind of motivate people to be better, because I had worked with people that were always in bad situations, and I didn't want them to be like that, So I figured I would try to create something to where they would need a little bit of a push or like a motivation. So I did that for a little bit, and then COVID kind of happened. Well, it was like 2019. I was 19, so didn't really have anything going on. So I was like, why not start a podcast and try to translate that into like motivational speak or whatever. So I did like 3 or 4 episodes of that, not a lot, and then never did it. And then
you just weren't a motivational speaker.
Yeah, I guess not. Well, at that time, I wasn't really doing the clothing company as much, so I just didn't really do the podcast, So then in 2022, me and my roommate, we just started it because I had always been a fan of it, and then 2 roommates living together, and we had an awesome sofa. Let's call it the Sofa Sessions. Have a good time, kind of like how you do yours. Y'all just talk, hang out.
That's it. Yeah.
Kind of same thing.
Did you have a plan before you would start an episode? Did you have like a roadmap or anything? You're just like, all right, we're gonna just start talking and see what happens.
Well, we had what we would do is we'd each come up with a topic.
Okay.
And then one of us would alternate weeks for like a mystery topic or just like a guest topic or whatever. And then we would bring it up to the other person and we discuss whatever. But that was it. Other than that, there was no structure to it. And then we kind of had a falling out. He didn't want to do it anymore, so then I had to do it. And I'm not gonna. I can't sit in front of a camera and talk by myself, for 30 minutes to an hour every week. So I started having guests, and then, that's it.
That's what you've evolved into. Now you have guests.
Yeah, I just try to have interesting, fun people on, and just talk about them.
And you just have people like from the Augusta area. That's like your main.
Yeah, I would love to be able to fly people out, but. That's really expensive. Yeah. And I don't really want to do like Zoom thing.
Understand that.
I've done it a few times. I didn't really like it. I kind of like the in-person
this is cool.
thing.
I like this. Yeah.
We're just hanging out. So, but yeah, that's it. And hopefully it'll get bigger than it is now, to where I can have.
You just keep having fun with it and ignore the numbers. That's been the thing. That's been the biggest thing that people have told me that are successful. And obviously, they're successful. So they're like, man, just have fun with it and just don't watch the numbers. Because if you get focused on the numbers, then you get frustrated.
Yeah.
And that I was living in that for sure last year. I'm like, no one's watching the podcast. Like me and Scott were freaking out about it. Like, man, what do we do? How do we make people care about this stuff? And I think, it may have, part of him exiting the whole deal. I don't know. He's got a lot going on, but just don't watch them. Just have a good time with your friends, and you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. But looking at the numbers, that's It's one of the hardest things.
I know,
man.
dude. It's rough.
It is.
It's hard.
Yeah, you put like a lot of work into this, man.
You're like, come on, download. Just keep. What's going on? But
yeah, then you like try to think of like, well, how can I get these people to watch it? You know, like how do I get this in front of people's faces?
Right.
And then you have to make people care to watch it. You know, so that's been the struggle, the daily struggle every day.
I get it. Just keep having fun with it. You know,
Yeah.
it's if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. You know.
Yeah, but yeah, I want to do this full time, hopefully in the future.
Awesome.
So that's kind of what I'm trying to do now. Trying to, I guess, find the good foundation for it, and get towards that. I guess.
Well, you're well on your way. You've
Thank
got got professional mics and nice lighting and a camera and.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're more professional than we are, and we've been doing it for a while. I just got a mic and one camera and ring lights, and
at least your setup looks good. Some people they'll do it in their like bathroom,
right?
You have like an actual ambiance.
I got my spot, right? Yeah, it's a cool spot. It's in the corner of our bonus room, and I remember back in the day that was just a corner that no one cared about. Now it's the most viewed spot in our entire house. I remember the day that I was like, where am I going to put this thing? Because the first, when I was first approached to do it, I did it in my stepson's room. He had a little desk in there. I'm like, I'll just do it in here. I'm like, this is dumb. If I'm going to do this, I need my spot, right?
Yeah.
I had like one of those divider curtain things to put behind me. So it was like not just, his crap behind me. It was just a blank screen.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need my crap behind me, right? So it's like, here it is. This is the corner. This is where we're picking out. And now it's been the same corner the whole time on the same desk with the same junk behind me and
same Tuesday every week.
Same Tuesday. We rotated a little bit at the beginning, but we landed on that Tuesday pretty early and
Have y'all missed a Tuesday at all?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
for
okay.
sure. We've definitely missed some.
I bet a lot of people were upset.
Yeah, definitely.
They missed out.
All the dozens of people that watch us every week were pissed. But no, I mean we do our best to knock it out every week, and I think for a while we weren't missing any at all. Like definitely probably COVID and probably all of 21 and 22, and there'd be a sporadic one in there that we would miss, but man, we were knocking them out there pretty hardcore for a while.
In stride.
Yeah.
Have y'all ever had like any advertisements come and trying to pay y'all for sponsorship? Maybe.
I mean, so we've had some, like in the beginning we had a beard product company talk to us. We had Mudcat Whiskers. They were out of Louisiana, and they sponsored the trivia. So they gave us a couple $100 or whatever, and they would be the whoever won trivia that week. They would send them stuff. So that was kind of how it worked. Good guys, yeah, it was cool. We've had some conversations with some people and stuff, and we joke about having sponsors. My wife has a company called Nat's Little Buds. She makes flowers out of different items, right? It's mainly this sculpting foam.
Yeah.
They're freaking amazing. I've watched her make these things. I have no idea how she does it. They're beautiful flowers. They look real, but with glitter.
Yeah.
And they're super cool. So we always joke that she's our hot new sponsor, Nat's Little Buds, and we bring up her logo and stuff, and it keeps her busy. You know, she's got her art and craft room that used to be our bonus room that she's created all of her Whiskerina works of art with, and now she uses it for Nat's Little Buds. So we've got that sponsor, and we've got Big Sexy Beard Brand as a sponsor right now, but no one's paying us. But we got sponsors.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
We have a good time with it, man. Like there's probably a way that we could monetize and make some sort of money, but we're just doing it for fun. If the Red Bull wants to hit us up and sponsor on our stuff and make us more professional, we'll be more professional, I guess, and do it. But we're just doing it to have a good time.
Yeah. Have you ever thought of like making it like, to where it is profitable and you could live off of that?
That would be awesome. That would be awesome, man. I mean, I enjoy talking on the mic. I feel like I do an okay job, and it'd be fun, right? I mean, I would definitely need more than just me coming up with ideas, because I'm kind of tapped out of ideas.
Yeah.
So we'd have to get a little bit of a team going on, and And that'd be cool. That would be, one of the dreams, right? If you could just do podcasting for a living. But I don't know. I lived the dream for a little bit, and I think maybe it's just time to go back and just X-ray some welds for a while.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Sean wants to make it full time and he wants to, do whatever that is to make it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I know there's ways to make money off podcasting and stuff,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I don't know how to do it.
What does Sean do?
So he buys cars and sells them.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
So you guys both have like a mechanic background almost.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, he's definitely got more of a mechanic background than me. I did 6 months of tech school and realized I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to work on my own stuff, right?
Yeah.
I had little trucks, or I wanted to lower them, or put different air intakes on stuff, or put systems in my things, or
Yeah.
I wanted to do stuff like that. I didn't want to change oil and do other people's brakes. And, you know what I mean? That was not. It wasn't as fun as I thought it was going to be. That's all I thought of from like 5th grade until I graduated high school. I'm going to be a mechanic for sure. This is what I'm going to do. And now I didn't want to do that.
Yeah. I kind of feel you because I interned at like a media company in Augusta.
Okay.
And that's what I was doing. I was like editing the people's clips and all that stuff. And I was like, gosh, this is so boring. I wish I could just edit my own stuff.
Right.
Like, I don't want to do other people's stuff. This is boring.
And here you are.
Mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel I want to do other people's oil changes.
Yeah, I quickly learned that's not what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I was like, one of my buddies, one of those 2 dudes that went and did what I do now, one of them bought a truck, and we could work on our own things, but we couldn't work on our other buddies. So me and him bought the truck together.
Yeah.
And so brought the little Toyota in there, and he was throwing me parts, and I rebuilt his whole engine. And they're like, where are you getting all this money to buy all these parts? You deliver pizza. I'm like, don't worry about it. And they're like, this is not your truck. There's no way. You're not doing all these parts. Like, I just they cut on to me, but it was too late. It was already in there. So
yeah,
we rebuilt my buddy's whole engine, put a better head on it, and a header and full exhaust, and it was fun. Well, I learned a lot off of it for sure, but it wasn't what I was supposed to be doing at school. I was just playing.
Yeah. I wish that's what school was, just get to play.
That's all I did all through high school, was just play and barely graduate and get out of there. That was.
I didn't really take school serious either.
I 100% did not. At all.
I just made passing grades.
Me too.
I didn't
barely.
Yeah.
I think my mom, being a well-respected teacher in the school district, probably helped me my senior year more. Yeah, for sure. I'm not gonna lie. I got a couple D minuses that I probably didn't earn.
Yeah. What are they gonna do? Fail you senior year?
Right. I'm like, come on, just give me a D minus. I'm not looking for a C here. D's will get you degrees, right? And 2 years later, I came back to school, and went to prom with a girl, and I was 2 years removed from high school. And one of those teachers that gave me one of my D minuses, he was like, I passed you, and now you make more money than me. This is BS.
That's usually how it works out.
Yeah, because teachers didn't pay nothing, and I was running all over the country, working 712s and buying little Civics left and right. And I thought I was rich, but I was making like $9 an hour, just working myself to death.
Dude, back then $9 an hour was a lot.
I was balling.
It's a living wage.
I had like 2 apartments.
Dang.
I know. Killing it. Like 6 cars.
Dang. Were they all fully insured under insurance?
Hell no. I was like taking plates off one and stuff. It was all sketchy stuff, but it was all right.
Yeah.
We survived.
You didn't get in trouble though.
I mean, I always got in trouble. Like all my getting in trouble growing up was car related.
Really?
Like, yeah, I remember I was friends with a girl. She was in my graduating class, and her dad was the sheriff in our little town. 2,000 people.
Dang.
I grew up, so my graduating class was like 65 people, and her dad was a sheriff, and she literally heard her parents talking about me one night. Was like, Aaron's got like, I don't even know the number, 50 written complaints on him at the police department. We're gonna take his license if he gets in any more trouble or whatever. It was a whole, like, for
That's
real.
Crazy.
It was a for real thing. I was just
a
a menace, and she told me that next day at school, she's like, I need to talk to you. And we were like, this is high school. We were like buddies in elementary school. So it was like, we knew each other, but we weren't buddies anymore. I'm like, well, this is kind of weird. You're wanting to chat me up. All right. It's cool. It's like, what's up? And she's like, so I heard Dad talking last night. You got to chill out. Like, you got to stop. Like, I would, every day I would just want to drive. It was just always, and it still is. It's like, it's just something about driving is always just calm me down and just like puts me kind of in a zone. Yeah. And so we would cruise, like, I don't know even if cruising's a thing, but before and after school, man, you go around Dairy Queen, go around Town Square and back, all day long. And I would be the first one there and last one to leave, just cruising. And I'd go around Dairy Queen and pull my e-brake on my little Civic and slide it around, or do burnouts, or just have a loud stereo, or passing my buddies in town, or driving on sidewalks, or just dumb crap, man. I was just, I don't know, it was like driving. It was just having fun. I wasn't thinking about getting in trouble, or I'm driving through people's yards, or the other people around me when I'm passing cars in town. Like, I'm passing my buddy. He knows that I'm being a jerk, and I'm going to get in front of him and slow down and try to make him late for work or whatever. I'm just having fun. I'm not thinking about all the other old people that are watching this happen. Like, that little Civic with the loud exhaust, with the personalized plates, that's super easy to turn into the cops. And
what did your plate say?
Korn 101. I was a big fan of the band Korn. And I wanted 69. So when I filled out my paper, I was like, Korn 69. And I guess they just gave me the next available number, and it was 101. So
that worked out, though.
Yeah, it was
pretty
cool.
Well, though.
Yeah, it was all right. So I got Korn 101 license plates, and, so it was easy, It was like that little Korn car, with the loud exhaust, the only loud Civic in town, because I grew up in Western Kentucky, and everybody's got, jacked up trucks.
You're probably ahead of your time then.
For sure.
For that area.
100%. So my dad lived in Metropolis, Illinois, and so I'd go there on the weekends, and the import tuner scene was huge there. Yeah. Like Paducah, Kentucky, Metropolis, Illinois, everybody had Civics. Everybody. So I had a Civic with loud exhaust, had the wheels on, had stereo, and that's what I built during the summer while I'm at Dad's house. Yeah. And so I got my license, and then I come back to Elkton where I grew up. No one had that stuff. I was the only one. I was, like you said, I was like revolutionary. Like, people were like, what is this? Like, we've seen those on TV or magazines, I'm like,
you came from the future.
I came from the future, right? With my old racing wheels, and my fart can muffler, and it was. And then then they started popping up. But I was definitely the first dude in town with a riced up little Civic, for sure.
Too bad you can't make money off of that.
Right? I definitely didn't make any money off that. I lost money. I got pulled over like all the time. Yeah. It was obnoxious. But that's been my bulk of getting in trouble, was always behind the wheel. I went to jail one time.
Did you really?
Yeah, I didn't. I think so. I think I had just graduated. So it was like the summer after I graduated. I was working at Domino's Pizza. I had a lowered Mazda B2200 extended cab, loud exhaust, little wheels, the whole thing. And I got off work, and I was putting a CD in a CD player, old school stuff, and I'd swerved. I crossed over the line, and I got lit up from behind. I was like, dang. I got pulled over. I was like, whatever, this is pretty common. I'm pretty used to being pulled over at this point. And thought it was going to be just a normal pullover. And he's like, hey, go ahead and step out of the car. I'm like, I've never had one of these before. Like, where's my ticket? It's like, so you're driving on suspended license. And I had no idea. I genuinely had no idea. I wouldn't have been driving on suspended license. My girlfriend had a license. She could have drove me or whatever, Yeah. I paid a ticket. Well, I paid a ticket, and then I was supposed to pay an additional fee to go to traffic school. And I guess it was like a different window. So I always got pulled over in my county. And so I knew the person at the checkout, I had it down. I was used to doing that. Well, this was a different county. And so I got pulled over there, and I didn't know I was supposed to go to a different window to pay for traffic school. It was that simple. And so I paid my ticket and I left. And I got freaking lit up, so I didn't pay my traffic school thing. So I got my license suspended. and I spent the night in Logan County Jail. It sucked. Sleeping on the concrete floor. And I woke up the next morning. There's a dude in my cell smoking a cigarette, and I gave him my cereal. And I did. I was like, "You want the cereal, man? I don't freaking know." And they let me out, and my girlfriend was there. She picked me up, and I went home, or went to my mom's house. It was my home at that time, and checked the mail, and the letter was in the mailbox that said, your license is suspended or whatever. I was like,
wow,
that's terrible timing, you know? And then next day I went and paid my little fee to go to traffic school, and they reinstated my license, and voila.
Dang.
I know.
Did you have to get naked when they brought you in?
No, it was pretty chill. They just let me in. It was, the next little town over, so they just threw me in the holding cell, and it was all right, but that was my bad boy days.
Running with the police.
I know that was a long time ago. But that was my one jail experience. Everything else has just been tickets and stuff.
I feel like that's a good jail experience, though. I mean, nothing bad happened.
No, it was.
You
was
didn't
chill.
do anything bad.
No,
you just didn't know you were on a suspended license.
That was it. It was genuinely that simple. I just had no idea.
And it was in the mail. You didn't even get it.
It was in the freaking mail, dude. I went home. Was like, oh, check the mailbox. I'm like, really? Wow. It's in the mail now.
That's like the ending of a movie or something.
Right.
Like finally get at the very end, after everything's happened, you finally get, what
Crazy.
you needed.
But that was a long time ago. I do my best not to get pulled over anymore. It still happens from time to time. But
just from what? Pulling e-brakes? Or?
No, heck no. Everything now is just because I was speeding, and it would be dumb stuff like 12 over. So I'm like, come on, man, give me a break. I'm on the interstate, but cruise control is my friend.
Yeah,
I'm a huge user of cruise control. Definitely the biggest thing is using cruise control now. But I do my best to abide by the law these days.
It's hard though.
I'm an old man, we already agreed on that. I try to, I worked at Savannah Riverside, I can't be getting in big trouble and stuff out there.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's true.
I've been pretty good for a while now.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man, for coming on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, yeah. This was fun. I don't even know how long we've been here. It seems like a long time.
An hour and 21 minutes.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you get a lot of cool content out of it, and
yeah, for sure.
I hope I kept everybody entertained.
Yeah. Do you have anything coming up as far as beard competitions with the podcast or anything like that?
No clue, man. Let's see. Talking Beards every Tuesday, 8 o'clock Eastern. Go to the YouTube and subscribe over there, because we'll eventually probably just move over to YouTube.
Yeah.
Talking Beards. It's pretty easy to find.
What's your Instagram?
Mine is Aaron D Johnston at Yahoo. That's my email address. Just at Aaron D Johnston. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff.
Sweet.
Threads. Does anybody ask you this? Do you use Threads?
No, I don't.
Does anyone use Threads, you think?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anybody that uses Threads.
So all my stuff goes there, right? Because you can click it on Instagram and it sends it there. But I was just curious. I'm not trying to drag your podcast on anymore.
Oh,
but
no. I mean, that is an interesting topic. No one's ever brought that up before.
Yeah. Does anyone use Threads actually? Like, actively use it? Like, is anybody like, I'm Threads famous? You know what I mean? Like, is that even a thing?
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to be a thing?
Threads? No, I don't
Me
think
neither.
so.
I don't think it's ever going to go anywhere.
Yeah. I think a lot of these companies, they try to do that. They try to capitalize on the next thing, like TikTok.
Yeah.
But
I don't think Threads is going to do anything.
no, I don't think
either.
so. And I've kind of had this talk before. Like, what's the next big social media thing?
I think it's full.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
I think seats taken at this point, right?
I mean, what else? What new can you get? How short of content can you make?
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that you can come up with anything else. There's no way. So the next social media thing will be with the Meta goggles.
Yeah,
that's got to be the next evolution of social media,
or just no social media.
No, it's going to keep going. Like, we've seen, what was that movie? Was it like 9 or something like that, where they had the goggles? I don't remember. It's like that was a thing, right?
Yeah.
There was a movie that they put the goggles on and they lived in their social media environment. That's real. That's going to happen. That will be the next evolution of social media, not Threads.
Yeah,
Give it up, Zuckerberg. Threads is not going to take off. But
I guess it's just another place to put ads on to make more money.
That's it.
I mean, But yeah, thank you again for coming on.
Appreciate
it.
Yes, it's cool.
At Aaron D Johnston.
That's
right?
it. At Aaron D Johnston. Yeah, check me out all my socials and yeah, that's it.
Sweet. Yeah, thank you guys for listening to this episode. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.
Yep,
got my soul in a choke. I feel like I can't breathe. Keep my foot on the gas. My life in full speed. Feel like I